The Minnesota Vikings are in an overall good position, especially coming out of free agency, that puts them in a spot to go best player available in the 2023 NFL Draft. I mean, I love the free agency period for the Vikings. Yeah, they don't got a lot of cap space right now, but we could see, trades that involving Zadarius Smith, Dalvin Cook, maybe even Danielle Hunter, unfortunately. Don't love that one, but I think that there's a couple of guys at 23, 87, and all over the place that if the Vikings do not only get extra draft capital, but if they get them to fall to them, I think it's going to really work out for them. But today I'm going to go over the top draft targets for the Minnesota Vikings before any major of those trades happen or anything like that. We're assuming right now Dalvin Cook will be back in 2023, but for right now, we're going to do our top draft prospects for the Minnesota Vikings in the 2023 NFL Draft. So we're going to bring you over here to our trusty PFF mock draft simulator because we want to kind of go through a simulation here just to kind of see how things will fall. Yes, all you guys know all of our draft situations at this point, so we're going to go ahead and enter the draft. Now, at 23, this could be pretty interesting because, there's a list of guys that could be here at 23. Guys like, Joey Porter Jr. is probably going to be gone. Jackson Smith and Jigba, by the way, has really shot up draft boards. He's going to be interesting. But there's going to be a lot of players. Guys like Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison immediately pop off the mind to me. Will McDonald, the fourth or fifth, whatever, and it was great at Roman numerals. He could be there as well. So there's some edge players here. There's some wide receiver players here. Kalijah Kancey would be a guy that I think before the combine would have fallen to you, but I mean, with the combine he had, it just was insane. So your lucky stars. Who is your top draft targets at this particular position? I think it's got to be defensive tackles, Kalijah Kancey as well as Brian Brzee, as well as Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. Those got to be your four main guys there. But if one of the top corners falls to you, guys like Joey Porter Jr., which I don't see happening, guys like Devin Witherspoon or Christian Gonzalez, those definitely got to be in kind of the mix of things. And I also think that at 23, we've talked about the Hendon Hooker thing, a little bit here on the podcast. I think it could be pretty interesting at 23 if the Vikings, if they even think they can trade down a little bit and still get their dude in Hendon Hooker if they want to go that route. That's fine as well. But at 23, I wouldn't put, guys like Jalen Hyatt on that list as well. Cam Smith, we saw him, has fallen down draft boards, but he would be fun. Osiris Torrance really buttoning up that right guard spot. I think he would be a lot of fun. So just for how everything is falling right now, I say they go Jordan Addison. So for the first one, I think the first draft target there in that particular spot would be Jordan Addison. Now, when you got to get into the second round, I know they don't have a second round pick, but just bear with me for a second. When you get into the second round, I still think that Steve Avila is one of my favorite guys here in terms of playing center or guard. As far as a linebacker, too, if they want to trade up for guys like Jack Campbell, Dion Henley, I think they would be a lot of fun. There's no way the Jets go back-to-back with those two. If they do, I don't know how I feel about that. It probably would be nasty. But overall, guys like Nathaniel Darrell are there in the second round, too. Keanu Benton would be an absolute stud and would be a great find in the second round. Drew Sanders, I've fallen in love with. Joe Tippmann. So as far as targets in the second round, those guys I think would definitely make a lot of sense. Siaki Apuika, just literally, there's so many different things there. And then, yes, when you get into the third round at 87, which is obviously where the Vikings are selecting right now, Chandler Zavala has actually risen up draft boards. We just said he was one of the biggest draft sleepers in this entire draft. I think he's going to develop into a starter and be a lot of fun down the road. Moro Ojomo, also Keon White goes to the pick right before to the Ravens. That would be a lot of fun. So in the third round, I think there's a lot of things you could do here. Jaylon Jones is there to help you out with corner. Sidney Brown, who can play in the slot. He can play in the outside. He can play corner. You love that. Moro Ojomo, too. If I was picking right here, right now, if no trades or anything go on, I would probably go Chandler Zavala here in the third round because, again, offensive line is definitely a big need here for the Vikings. But, again, trading back could really do some interesting things for them. So for the first three rounds, and that's kind of mainly what we're going to do here is for the first three rounds, right off the bat, you get Jordan Addison. Obviously, you don't have a second round pick, but I think you could do some maneuvering if you want to trade back and still find a way to get Jordan Addison, get back into the second round, maybe get a player that's either in the corner position. Maybe you want to go ahead and Hooker at any of those places, but overall, corner, wide receiver, D tackle are, I think, going to come to huge positions of need here. And so when you get into the third round here, I'm absolutely not mad at all about taking Chandler Zavala. And in the fourth round, Corey Trice is definitely going to be there as well as Anthony Johnson, but even Juice Scruggs, Andrew Andrew Voorhees tore his ACL. He's going to be back. Don't worry about it. So there's a lot of draft targets here that I think could be a lot of fun, but I think the Vikings, they really got to see. This is going to be such an interesting draft just to see after all the smoke screens what's going on. Are they actually going to take Hendon Hooker at 23? I don't know yet, but we kind of covered a lot of the guys that we think would be immediate draft targets for the Minnesota Vikings and be guys that I think they need to take a flyer on in rounds 1 through 3. But let us know what you guys think, and make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover. But let us know what you guys think about our top draft target segment for the Minnesota Vikings.